Dave, I know a lot of people are going to focus on the two big innings that each team had, but in the other eight innings, I think you outscored them by 3 runs today. What did you see as the difference outside of those two big innings?
Well, we had a lot of good at bats. We fought a little bit and made him throw a lot of pitches, fouled off a lot of pitches. But early in the game, obviously, we got a bunch of clutch hits, and we left some guys in the middle of the game. Second and third twice with less than two outs, and then we had the bases loaded and one out, and we didn't score there. So those three innings, if we could have just scored a couple, three more runs, we had a chance to put them away. But credit to them, they got out of it, and yeah, they put together a really big inning, and it didn't defeat us, so to speak. We hung in there and fought back.
James Kramer gave you three scoreless at the end, and obviously the second time that he's pitched this weekend. What did you see from him, and did he look better today than he did when he pitched Thursday night?
Well, he pitched good Thursday, but today he was, we extended him a little bit. He only threw like 35, 36 pitches in three innings, so he was getting ahead in the count. Um, he just did a great job of mixing, and his fastball was up to 95, I think, and he just pitched really well.
How hard is a game like today when, it just feels like you're just trying to hang on and every out is as valuable as it is?
Yeah, it's hard on everybody. It's hard on the players on the field and coaches in there, staff, everybody. You're just thinking, where's this thing going? And here's what I told the team after the game, that really the last 2 days, man, we just found a way to grind it out. Yesterday we won the game whether we deserved to or not, and then today, the first inning was one of the best innings I've been around as a coach in a long, long time, and I think we had nine in before we even made an out. We left a couple out there too. Could have scored a couple more with a little better contact, and but then to give it up and to still win the game, they didn't break our spirit. We just kept fighting and got a couple of big hits. Also got a really nice play by Peck, keeping his foot on the base there when they reviewed it. That could have been a big problem. They'd had runners on first and second with nobody out. And just some, couple of really good 5, 6, 7 pitch at bats that ended up turning into walks and laying off borderline pitches that, we scored. They out hit us by two or three, but we only walked three, and I think they walked us 8 times, and that was the difference.
And then this is 3 weeks in a row where Gilbert's given up a real big inning. What are you seeing? And it seems like they're hitting him hard every time.
Yeah, it was, we were just talking about it on the way over here for about four hitters there. He looked great. And breaking ball was firm and late breaking, and they struggled with it. It was in the mid 80s, and it was hard. And yeah, but his misses were, where they could really barrel it up. Yeah, I mean, it's something that obviously we're very concerned about. We're going to have to try to figure that out going forward, how we're going to use them.
Jackson, go ahead.
Dave, what you like from Tate today, giving you a start? And I know just 7 outs or so, but worked quickly and left with a big lead at least.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. The first two plus innings, he was really good. Ahead in the count, throwing his changeup, breaking ball, fastballs 94, 95. I think it was up to 94 anyway. And just did a great job. And then, I think with two outs there, maybe he walked a batter, and then he got behind in the count, and he threw a breaking ball, and then he threw threw a fastball, and it left the yard. And yeah, that was it. The plan really going in was probably more towards 2 innings, but his first 2 innings were so good we couldn't take him out. We needed to leave him in and see what happened. And but he gave us 9, 10, 11 hitters, and that's what we were hoping. And then obviously it didn't go good in the fifth, but we came back and won.
I imagine you're a little frustrated during a 9-run inning. Are you, letting emotions show? Are you trying to maintain cool so the guys maybe don't lose their focus at all? I mean, what's going through? What are you trying to show to the team during those struggles? And they did end up bouncing back.
Yeah, I mean, you got to stay calm. I mean, you still got a bunch of at bats left, and baseball is interesting. That game reminded me of the Ole Miss game about 4 years ago when we were up 11-1 on a Sunday, and next thing you know, it's like 11-11, and we kept it together there. And we got a big hit in like the eighth, and we ended up winning by a couple of runs. And, so it's kind of, you just kind of use your experience and how'd you handle that. And, but really more than anything, I just told the guys, we got plenty of time, and it's just the way it is. It's Sunday. Every time I go out to the mound and get a pitcher, when the pitcher was coming in, I told the infielders at least 2 times, it's not about pitching today, it's about scoring runs. And we got to keep scoring runs, whether it's tied or we're down or whatever. We've got to score. And that's why those 2 home runs in the ninth, those were a blessing, so to speak. Those are awesome.
Yeah, Stewart, home run in every game. I mean, even when he's not hitting home runs, it seems like the at-bats are really quality right now. Are you seeing anything that you maybe noticed earlier in the season when he really started hot that's coming back towards the end of the year?
Yeah, laying off like pitching ball or breaking balls down in the dirt, or not, just down. And he fought off some good pitches today, and he didn't miss too many when he got one. He didn't miss a pitch that was really a hittable pitch. I think he had 4 hits, and just had a great weekend. I was kidding him before the game. I said, "You ever hit ninth one game and hit cleanup the next?" And he said, "No." And then after the game, I said, "I think you were trying to tell me you don't like it ninth." And he laughed, but he said, "No, I kind of like it down there." But no, it's the guys have been great, moving them around, just trying to make the lineup long and powerful in different spots, and almost have a second cleanup guy down the 8-9 hole, and it's worked a little bit with this team.
Last one for me. One more on to Kramer. A 3 inning save tonight. McIlvain threw the final three last night. How valuable could that be as like another late inning guy that can get 6, 9 outs at the end of the bullpen, and a righty too compared to McIlvain, the lefty.
Yeah, super valuable, especially when you're talking game three. When you're starting to run out of pitching and guys are being maybe used a little bit for the second time. If you can bring somebody in that can go, 3 innings, man, that's kind of middle reliever stuff with closer stuff. So, it was super big this weekend. That's for sure.
And Matt, close us out, please.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, 17 wins. You're the number 7 seed in Hoover. What's that tell you about the conference that, that many wins is now kind of considered upper middle of the pack?
Well, it's just one of those years where one team kind of ran away with it, but the rest of us were all within a couple games of each other for the most part. It's the league is just really strong. We jumped ahead of a couple people today that are really good. I don't know, just it's deep. You can't take anybody for granted. You got to go get your wins while you can, and you look at what we've done. We've won 5 out of the last 6, 7 series, I think. We've won 7 out of 10 series in this league. And that's hard to do. And you look at who we played and you start adding it up. We had one of the tougher conference go, so to speak, with who we played, if you look at their overall record. So proud of this team for fighting, and a lot of new guys in the league for the first time, and they found out how hard it is.
You guys have had some high scoring games on Sundays or game 3 this year, but it seems like it's happening all over the place. Like, I mean, I'm looking today, there was a 12-9 game and a 15-11 game. It seems like every week we're seeing that more than maybe we have the last few years. Is that, I don't know, what does that tell you about what's going on in college baseball?
Well, there's a lot of older hitters, I think, that are still here, just like a couple of guys that we're faced this weekend, or, they're seniors and they know how to hit. And they don't swing at balls. I mean, you're just seeing a lot more of that. And then when you get to day 3, once that starter's out of the game, a lot of times, you're going to a guy for the second time. It gets tough. So, I mean, who's to say? It's getting warmer. Pitchers maybe they're getting a little tired. There's a lot going on at this time of year.
I think you got 4 days in Hoover before you play a game. What's the next few look like for the team?
Tomorrow will be completely off, and then we'll get together on Monday, and we'll obviously find some time to lift, and they need to recover, and then we'll get us some workouts in and get ready for our game.
Your teams have seemed to do well kind of on this last, regular season road trip. Then you go to Hoover, and I don't know, it seems like it's maybe galvanized your teams in the past. What do you think this could do in terms of just team building over the next week or so.
Yeah, well, I kind of mentioned something after the game too about the next few days to stay hooked up mentally. We got a lot more baseball to play, and don't check out just because the season's over, regular season's over. We still have a lot of work to do, and I hope this weekend motivated them. And no, it's that time of year, man. They don't have to go to school. You just get to play baseball. They get a per diem every day, and hey, they're eating good, sleeping in a nice hotel. What more could you want right now when you're 18 to 23 years old?
All right. Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. We'll see you in Hoover.
See you.